Afternoon, David.
Afternoon, David. As if we haven't seen each other for hours.
Well, when I come back from the shops, you were lying sleeping in your chair.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't slept much.
You phoned me to wake you up, you maddie.
Days. That's what you get for smoking for 50 years of your life. You're coughing all the way during the night. It's a dreadful thing. There's a cure for it, but it's something I've got to try going through. Anyway, whilst you're getting things organised with
Facebook's on.
Well, I'm going to ask a simple question. It's a question I'm going to put out to the viewers. Why do you think the UK has been intentionally torn apart economically, financially, over the past so many years? And also, why is it that Trump is doing the same to America? It almost seems like an intentional move to destroy the UK financially, and it almost seems like an intentional drive to destroy America financially. What do you think?
Sure, David, do you know how to get the fucking schedule all mixed up?
We said we'd ask the question.
Aye, but it was supposed to be asked at article number 7.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it at article number 7. All right.
Listen, anyway, in the comments, folks, if you get any idea why the UK and US have decided that imposing an economic sanctions on themselves is the best way forward.
Yeah.
The UK with Brexit and the US with this tariff war, because it's not the exporters that are paying these tariffs, it's the US importers. And as you can see, things are going mental in the US, but we'll get there.
Get to number 7. All right, don't worry about it.
And number 9.
Oh, there you are, Duncan McGarriga in through the door, £10. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Duncan. I'll put that up. Good afternoon, all independents supporters. Keep your eyes on the prize. Quite early in the show.
I love you. Thanks, Duncan.
Right. Okay, 2 Davies, 10th of the 2nd, 2025. And breaking news, MSP to stand down, Audrey Nicholl to stand down as MSP for Aberdeen South and Kincardine North. This leaves the door open for Stephen Flynn to make a bid for Holyrood. Will he or will he not?
Well, he time and time again, he has said that is a seat that he would like to take.
No, he understands that's the seat of power in Scotland, so that's where he wants to be.
Yeah. Yes.
But the thing about it is, it's a win-win for the SNP. Stephen Stones as an MSP gets elected. Stones doing as an MP by-election. That mob doing that road in their parties here in Scotland are that unpopular. The SNP will probably win that by-election.
Yeah, correct.
So it would be.
And Stephen can quite ably explain himself and say, look, you know, my place in Scotland, my place isn't being ignored in the House of Commons.
Well, as I say, the question has been asked already. Audrey announces she's standing down this morning, and the press, especially the English rags, the only right-wing rags, they've got stories up asking if Flynn's going to run.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they would like to see disruption in the SNP.
Well, it's not, I don't call it destruction. If Stephen Flynn runs and wins as an MSP, simply, as far as I'm concerned, you would find that the membership would back Stephen Flynn if he went for being First Minister. Yeah.
So he's already said he wasn't chasing the First Minister's seat.
Well, we know that politicians, that's precisely politicians speak. Yeah. I don't want to be Prime Minister, but if the country should call on me to take this up, then yeah, I've been doing it for years. Stephen's no different when it comes to that. Yeah.
Listen, David, you know, I'd like to leave the fucking crystal ball shit for later. Let's find out if he's going to run. And then let's see if he gets elected before we talk about bids for leadership. What we do know is we said we're going after John's job initially.
We can voice an opinion, right? I've always liked Stephen. I've always liked Stephen. I appreciate he is a fantastic communicator. He really is. So,
he's quite a bright boy.
Yeah.
We'll just need to wait and see. But it's interesting the timing of the announcement from Audrey Nicholl, because if Stephen wants to run, he'll need to put himself forward for betting for candidacy, the way Nicola just has and being passed.
Yep.
So we'll find
out. That's also a very interesting one, is that Nicola Sturgeon has put herself forward, along with the Treasurer, I forget his name, he's put himself forward as well. They've both been okay to run it as MSPs. Yeah.
Anyway, to say, it'll be interesting because we'll find out soon enough if Stephen intends to run, because he'll need to put himself forward for betting.
That'd be wonderful.
And the minute he does that, the press will be all over it.
Aye, yeah. Let them.
Aye.
So
let's move on. We'll get trouble at Mill for Labour again. As MP Brian Leishman, he's the MP for Grangemouth in Iowa, is no fucking chuffed. And he stated publicly that he believes that his party misled the public on Grangemouth.
Yes. And they did.
And they did.
And they did. Yeah. It's not. That's not an opinion. That is simple fact, and we can see that what happened was that Enos looked to put up the thing that we are looking to support and fix the Grangemouth situation. Yes, and they did.
No, they said they would save the plant. They lied to get the votes. Right, Stephen, you're all for a Nicola comeback. That'd be an interesting competition, wouldn't it? John, Nicola, and Stephen all vying for the leadership.
Wouldn't it be great if we had Nicola Sturgeon and Stephen Flynn as the two people that take us to independence?
Well, we'll see. Right, anyway, and there's more trouble for Labour as Anna Sarwar caught out in another lie.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
As you know, David, you and I were looking at the national front page earlier, and I spoke about it earlier with the Two Davies audience. Anna Sarwar has been telling people here that he has been negotiating with the Home Office for a distinct visa system for Scotland to meet Scotland's migration needs. And a Freedom of Information request to the Home Office has shown that he's not spoken to anybody there at all about a visa system for Scotland. So another election lie.
The problem is that he's not what I would call Dolly Dimple. He's not, right? So why enough has he put up this, knowing that he's going to get caught out in that lie?
I don't think he's that smart. I don't think he thought he was going to get caught out. We're talking about Labour in Scotland here. We're talking about the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, but also we're talking about Anna Sarwar, and I don't believe individually as an individual that he's stupid.
Well, I think he's politically naive and stupid.
You reckon so? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
Let's face it, all the lies they told to Scottish people prior to that election, and the only reason why we didn't know that Starmer had slapped up down each time was because the mainstream media didn't tell us. People like you and I were telling people about Starmer slapping them down.
Yeah.
And trying to tell people that everything that Sarwar was telling you was a lie, including GB Energy and all that stuff. But of course, the mainstream media bummed it up. GB Energy, thousands and thousands of jobs. Here we go again. And we'll get Sarwar back on about energy and nuclear plants. Saying that, and of course, the GMB chief here in Scotland saying that the SNP should rethink their nuclear thing because it's denying green energy or renewable energy, and thousands of jobs here in Scotland.
We've done previous programs where we talked about a particular nuclear power station being shut down, and how long it actually produced energy for, and how long it would take to actually
decommission it.
bury the rubbish that comes out of it, right? And how long we'll have to store that for. You know,
we talk about Rachel Reeves' economic fucking madness, eh?
If I hear of one single one of these container-sized nuclear power stations from Rolls-Royce end up in Scotland, I tell you now, unless we get independence pretty fast, we're going to end up in a situation where we end up dealing with all the rubbish, all the nuclear waste that comes out of that. I'm sorry I missed a £4.99 super chat.
Aye, Flynn was scared of Westminster because he's served there and knows how to play the game. Possibility there, Paul.
Yeah.
Anyway, this next one really interests me because it's the reason why the National Care Service crashed, and it's just absolute madness with the councils, and it's just a power struggle between the councils and Holyrood, and it's hurting the children of our country. And that is that teachers in Glasgow have announced they're going to strike over Glasgow's plans to lay off 450 teachers over the next 3 years.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. The madness of this is that the Scottish Government have offered councils £145 million each year to maintain teacher numbers. But the councils want the money, but they don't want to keep the teachers.
That's right. Which shouldn't be allowed. Which shouldn't be possible.
It shows you how stupid some of these councils are, Bob.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about making life more difficult for children in the future by increasing class sizes.
Yeah.
I know they all need to cut costs, but in this particular instance they don't, because the money is being offered by the Scottish Government. Right. This is just political wrangling. This is my fault, and you're not telling me how to kick it.
Yeah, that's precisely what is happening. So therefore, the councils in that circumstance, we should have an elected government that can deal with that. But obviously they can't. So therefore, the councils have got too much power. And if they've got too much power, it needs taken off them. Simple as that.
It would need amendments to the 1998 Scotland Act, because the jurisdictions of the councils and the Parliament are clearly laid out in that.
Yeah, all right. So therefore, what we've got to do is we've got to wait for Scotland to become an independent nation, and then we've got the ability to then deal with. Correct. Glasgow is an SNP council. Correct. And I have to say, it's like, is it true what I'm hearing that Glasgow are literally a hair's width away from bankruptcy? And that's the reason that they're doing this thing of 140 million, is it? That's going to them each year?
No, it was 145 million for all the councils, Scotland.
For all the councils, so 32. But therefore, it depending on the size of the council, depends on how much they get.
Aye, but it was to be ring fence for keeping teacher numbers up.
Yeah. Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much. To continually produce sustainable air fuel in Britain would require 60% of all agricultural land. Not going to happen. That's why they're not considering it for Grangemouth.
That's a good point. Good point. It would take up to 60% of the agricultural land, because they're talking about, making fuels out of things like the plant matter. We know it can be done, but it requires huge tracts of land to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas using petrochemicals to make or at least to make us a secure aviation fuel supply at Grangemouth is what makes sense.
what we're actually needing is we're needing for the experiments with hydrogen fueled planes to come to fruition to a point where they can provide enough power to keep a plane aloft. Simple as that.
Well, Gordon Ross was talking about them making rocket fuel out of fucking polystyrene. So, you know. Anyway, that's a teacher.
I know Gordon Ross was made of polystyrene, but that's perhaps it's a rumour.
The teachers going on strike is the right. Do you know, I'm not really a big fan of strikes. I don't find it a good way of settling industrial disputes. But in this case, I think they're right because the money is there to maintain teacher numbers.
Yes, correct.
To say this
if it is there, if you are ring fencing that area, that part of the workforce, and you're actually saying there's the money for it, then it should be that all of the councils should have to toe the line.
But what they're saying is, give us the money, but don't tell us how to spend it. It's our ball, and don't tell us how to kick it.
Right. So therefore, what happens is the Scottish government are quite within the rights to say, "Oh, we're not providing that money to you."
That's right? Exactly what they've done. They're not getting the money.
What happens is we lose those teachers, and what happens is that affects our children.
Of course
we should not be allowing the councils to do such an action at all. Simple as that.
Anyway, let's move on to Labour peer and Minister Douglas Alexander gets second job in the cabinet. Now, Douglas Alexander has taken the job that Sue Gray said no thank you because she thought it was a bit fucking imperialistic.
And the title of that job is?
Union and Constitutional Directorate. That'll be his office. Michael Gove's old union office now becomes the Union and Constitutional Directive office, and he will be the minister for it. And his job apparently will be to work with the devolved administrations. And I don't know how Wee Murray's going to take that because Governor General is just about to have a general put above his head or a field marshal put above his head.
Well, Douglas Alexander was dealt with in the past, and the best way I can describe him as a politician is he's a wee fanny. Excuse me, but just simple as that.
He's definitely a slightly wee snake. After all, he threw his sister under a bus to take power.
And Mary Black showed him the door. We're talking the youngest MP ever. Took him on just by speaking common sense, and Douglas Alexander went out the door.
Anyway, so we've got a new imperialistic office with Douglas Alexander at the top of it. I wonder how Murray, the Welsh Secretary and the Northern Irish Secretary, is going to take it. As they now have a field marshal at the top of their Governor General role. You know, I wonder how they're going to take it. Because what we do know is Wee Murray kicked up a stooshy when the job was being offered to Sue Gray. I wonder if he's kicking up a stooshy now. But as I say, if you wanted to know, if you weren't sure if this was a colony or no, folks, you know now.
What's his seat? What's Douglas Alexander's seat?
Don't know.
You remember? See, he's trying.
East Lothian since 20. So he was elected in East Lothian. David.
East Lothian. Well, as far as that's concerned, all you people in East Lothian, SNP, start chapping the doors.
Right, get busy.
Okay. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is get rid of the wee fanny as quick as possible.
Anyway, his other job is a trade minister.
Yeah.
Trade policy minister, sorry.
Yeah.
That's his other job within Starmer's cabinet. So, folks, our imperial master is cracking down on us.
Yeah.
And they've appointed somebody to whip us. And it's the wee fanny that was Alexander. So if you come across him in the street, just mind and tell me he's a wee fanny.
Aye, that's the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, this one's a cracker, David. This one's a cracker before we move on to wider UK stories. But Tory MSP Douglas Lumsden has been accused of using AI to submit 1,000 frivolous questions in 1 month to the Scottish Parliament. One of the
Thin end of the wedge.
Aye.
Thin end of the wedge.
It is, but it's a costly thinning end of the wedge. Now, one of the questions asked how many salt and pepper sachets the Scottish Parliament had procured since it opened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apparently his 1,000 frivolous questions have cost the Scottish taxpayer 100,000 quid. So these people are submitting questions. Obviously, need people to research them, answer questions and all that. Anyway, these 1,000 questions have cost 100,000 quid. Now, the unionists are quite good at this stuff, demanding public inquiries and all that shit.
Well, if you look at BBC and all the unionist newspapers, right, they do a lot of freedom of information requests, right?
Yep.
But now that you've got a situation where you go to chat GPT and say to it, right, what questions do I ask you? This one, X, Y, Z.
Just give
over
it
the following. Yeah, literally.
Just give it print them off, sign them and submit them, because these are MSPs. They're asking questions of the committees within the whole of Parliament. They're wasting public time. They're wasting public money.
Yeah.
Imagine having to go. Imagine a letter going in front of the Finance Committee. How much have you spent in salt and pepper sachets?
Yeah.
You're the Finance Committee. You're like, fuck's sake, pull your hair out.
Right. So the answer yet again is this is something that should be controlled. That's the reason why we have a government, because you can control such things. Of course you can. Right, but it should be done. Through our speaker. Let's say we've got
the normal amount of questions submitted by MSPs to the committee system per month is normally about 900.
Yeah.
This guy in his stupid 1,000 questions has taken it 1,900.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's a waste to the public purse.
That's right.
In the middle of a cost of living crisis, services are being squeezed.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this muppet in the Parliament knowing that he's deliberately wasting public money.
But yet again, you said the word deliberate, right? And it is deliberate. And as far as the cost is concerned, they're not worried about that. They're worried about the political effect.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, somebody in Hollywood should be looking into this.
Yes, correct. Absolutely.
Because if he's deliberately wasting public money, we know that governments they waste public money with bad decisions and bad procurement and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's deliberately doing it, sabotaging the public purse by submitting these questions, there should be some sort of sanction on the guy.
Yeah. And as far as that's concerned, the AI, all the different AI chatbots that are out there, right? They need to have rules that govern their use. And at the moment, there is no rules governing the chatbots. Reason being is because legislators don't fully understand them.
And it appears you haven't grasped the concept of what he's doing. ChatGPT is not doing it for him. He's just asking questions.
It might not have been ChatGPT that he used.
Doesn't matter, David. What he was doing was getting it to come up with frivolous questions, and he was submitting them to the Parliament.
doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, it's the thin end of the wedge. You will find that done over and over and over again,
That's
and
why
it
it
needs,
we
and it
can't stop
needs,
there.
it needs investigating, and it needs a rule putting in place.
There are rules, David. There's rules
What
on how they
rules are
face
there?
situations and
What
things.
rules are there regarding AI?
It's not about AI, it's about the MSP submitting questions to the Parliament.
But you're missing the point.
No, you're
You
missing
missed
the
the
point. It
point.
didn't matter if he made up the questions himself. Never
No,
mind AI. If he made up 1,000 questions himself and submitted them in 1 month.
fair enough. Right, I've got that. Right, but what you have to understand is that these people don't want to work that hard, but they want the political effect, and the political effect is absolutely it's a denial of service. It's a
So,
DOS,
David,
a DDoS.
let's take that 100,000.
It's in effect, it's a DDoS attack on a government. Yeah,
And more importantly,
denial of service.
if he keeps it off at that rate, he'll obtain 1.2 million out of the public purse by the end of the year.
And also the time taken to actually service it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So
As I say, so there should be something done here. Because
it
as I
does.
say, if he continues to submit questions at 1,000 a month, by the end of the month, he'll obtain 1.2 million quid out of public services.
And that's one cuckoo in the nest.
One, aye. And if the idea catches on, then the Parliament just ceases to function.
Yeah. Correct. That's the political effect that's looked for.
As I say, so this needs to be investigated.
Yeah.
And there needs to be some regulation room the sort of stupid questions that can be asked.
No, it isn't just. It isn't just the idea of the questions. It's the idea of where the questions originated from.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't, David.
Yes, it is because but the reason that I'm telling you that you're wrong, right, is that you've just said it yourself. With all these MSPs, all these cuckoos in the nest, saying that they can manage to muster 900 and odd different questions, right? And then all of a sudden this bazooka comes up with 1,000 questions on his own, then that shows you that it's not just about the questions, it's about where the questions originated from. End of story. All right. Well, we'll see this as it goes on.
I
mean, you and I can argue that the cows come home, but we've got to see what actually comes down the line. But understand this: my opinion is this is a thin end of the wedge.
It could be.
All right.
Could be because the concept's out there now, David.
Helen Jones, lots of bums on the naughty step today. Helen, are you late? Have you been late? Have you not got in before we started off this show? Oh dear.
Aye.
Have you got the candle lit, David?
No.
Oh dear. Helen, you're getting a free run.
No,
Up.
Next one up is the
Here we
last
go.
one.
Up. Sore bum. Right, okay.
Right, let's move on. Now, we're going to put a Guardian article up for this one, David. Just so people can see this horrific weekly campaign by Labour to tell the public of their success and catching and deporting illegal migrants. Now, what they're doing at the moment, David, is they're raiding businesses for illegal workers. And of course, they're working illegally. They become criminals to deport the fuckers.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's see this article.
Let's see what it's for. I'm not interested in the content, David. We know about the content. It's about the actual Farage style. The Farage, the
design.
What they're actually trying to do
design. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's what they're actually trying to do with it, which is quite horrific.
Yeah.
So, I better put it back there. I'll be able to see it. Anyway,
That's
you see,
breathtaking. It really is.
it's in the livery of a reform, they call it. There's no
Yep.
mention, there's no Labour logo on it.
Yep.
Breaking news, Labour hits 5-year high in migrant removal. But David, you and I
As
spoke
far
about
as
this.
as far as I can see, we've got the Conservative government under Badenoch, which is what that Kimmy Badenoch, right? Where they're trying to reform, right?
Yep, no Labour.
And now we've got Labour are doing exactly the same thing. They're trying to reform, because they know fine well if they don't do anything, they're going to end up where Reform are going to take a huge number of seats at the next election.
It's not that. What's stupid about it is people will think that was Reform putting the stats out there.
Yeah, correct.
So people will vote Reform if they think it's Reform. But it says Labour, you know. But no Labour livery. But I mean, as Diane Abbott said when she said it, she said, that's fucking horrific.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but what they're actually doing is they're criminalising these people. Now, a lot of these people are here and they can't work because they're asylum seekers. They can't live on £30 a week, so they nip out and work in the black market to make ends meet. Now they're being lifted, criminalised, asylum denied, off you go.
Yeah, it's a sad situation because these people, as far as I'm concerned, what they're doing is stopping them from earning. They're making a decision on them, right?
Apparently, they reckon there's 1.2 million people here illegally and working in the black market. Guess what? Amnesty. Give them all fucking citizenship, make them all pay tax. There you go.
Yeah. Hey, Rachel Reeves, here's an idea for growth.
Well, consider the latest unemployment figures. And firms no hiring anywhere because of the NI changes.
Yep.
You know, she needs a wider tax base. There's 1.2 million people out there could be paying fucking tax.
That's right. Wow. Look at that. That's a good percentage on top of the workforce in the UK. And there are people that want to earn money. They want to go out and actually earn money.
They want to
let them go.
Earn their living. They want to contribute to society.
Make a decision on them through time, right?
And also by giving them an amnesty, and making them all citizens and getting them all national insurance numbers, mean they can't be exploited by unscrupulous employers.
Absolutely. It's almost like legalizing drugs. You legalize drugs, what do? You take it out of the hand of the street vendor and you allow the British government to charge tax on it, on spliff. You actually buy spliff from whatever, right?
To chemist, tobacconist, whatever it is.
And effectively, that is it. You would do precisely that by giving all these people an amnesty and giving them a national insurance number.
It makes perfect bloody sense to me.
Of course it does.
And how many talented people amongst these asylum seekers are there? Doctors, lawyers, engineers, and their talents are being wasted.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We've got people out there that are doctors but cannot practice in this country, given an amnesty like that and made a British citizen, they call it, right? Then immediately they can start with the paperwork to get acknowledged as a doctor in this country. They might have to take 1 or 2 exams, fine. They're intelligent enough, they'll do it, right? And those people then can take jobs as doctors. My goodness me. Wouldn't that be wonderful? The whole thing is a self-fulfilling dream.
That's an interesting one, David, because what we're being told is that newly qualified doctors can't get a job, GPs, but we're told we've got a shortage of doctors.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on. Rachel Reeves' growth plan makes no sense and is anything but a green revolution.
Hang on. Are we talking about the Rachel Reeves' growth plan that's going to come to fruition in 2050?
Aye, we're talking
That
about
one were
Rachel from accounts, you know, as you call her. As everybody calls her, actually. Yeah, Gillian, you're talking after the naughty step. Well, at least the ones that go here early wouldn't burn their arse in the candle. You will. Anyway, the three pillars of her plan for growth, David,
Yep.
makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Let's start with the last one. Runway at Heathrow to be open 2040, 2050. There'll never be a plane land on it.
Yeah.
Never.
No, apart from the fact of the number of villages they've got to get rid of to allow that to happen, you know, come on. It's bloody stupid. And plus the fact she talks about, to give it strength, she talks about Scottish salmon and Scottish whisky being sent via Heathrow. The simple question is, if you live in Scotland, you go, why are you sending that gear that we're producing all the way to London Heathrow when in actual fact we've got a perfectly good airport here called Prestwick that specialises in actual sending stuff haulage abroad, and that's where your Scottish salmon and your Scottish whisky should be sent from.
In
the story. Yeah.
If it's on the Heathrow, it's because buyers in London have bought it and they're shipping it forward.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't be shipped from Heathrow. Doesn't matter who's bought it.
Let's move to our 10 mini nuclear reactors.
Yeah.
Now, we know it's the Rolls-Royce design. It's never been tested. There's not even a fucking prototype.
Yeah.
We don't know what the cost's going to be.
Well, don't forget, let me interject something. Rolls-Royce are responsible for producing the reactor in the latest sub that's going to be used for Trident.
Uh-huh.
And we know that a submarine nuclear power plant is rather small. Okay, when we say small, it would go into a typical container that we'd see rolling down the road, right? So therefore, that's the size of the unit we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Very, very expensive, of course, right? Mm-hmm. But that's the kind of size that we're talking about. So we've got 10 containers going in somewhere in Scotland.
So where's it out? No, not in Scotland. These are in England. All of them in Scotland.
Right. Okay. Well.
But more importantly, David, they're talking about thousands of jobs. Where's the thousands of jobs in a container? This thing's going to be more or less self-reliant, and maybe a couple of people fucking monitoring the way there is in a submarine.
Are we probably talking the same kind of lies we were told about GB Energy?
Yes, definitely.
It was going to employ thousands of people, and in actual fact, the new chief executive was actually interviewed, and he went, "Oh well, it's maybe not thousands, maybe, but see, and maybe like 5 or 6 decades away, maybe we'll all see thousands employed by it."
Right. And only if the UK government's going to start lending money to fucking people out with these islands.
Yeah.
To build their green infrastructure.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing is, you know, they're talking about sustainable sustainable energy, because it's definitely no green, as you and I know, David.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a container size, it's going to be stuck in the middle of a field somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's still going to be a nuclear waste. And they haven't got a clue what they're going to do with the waste. I mean, if you look at Down Ray,
but that's always been the case. That you take it straight away from all the previous foregone nuclear power stations, right? Always about a problem of what do we do with it long term, right? Send to wind scale, and it goes inside this bath, and it glows blue, right? And it sits there for so long till eventually it's down a little bit, and then it gets taken. Well, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to store it? Huh?
Thanks, John. And we'll get a super sticker, lemon character doing shoulder shimmy dance moves.
Right, there we are. Right, okay.
So, unproven technology. We don't know what the cost's going to be. They don't have a plan to dispose of the waste. And if we look at previous places, like you say, a Windscale or whatever they're calling it now, and Dounreay. I mean, Dounreay, the clean-up prices just went from 2 billion to 9 billion.
Yeah.
No, and that was a small 1950s reactor.
Yeah, and you have to understand that it only had, was it worked out, 39 years of production.
Yep.
And the cleanup of the area to the point where it's deemed they can take down a 17-foot chain link fence around about it, right?
Aye.
In another, how many years?
300.
Was it 300 years?
Aye,
something after that. Yeah. And you know, so you produce these containers. That size doesn't matter. Size doesn't matter. It's the amount of waste that you end up with collectively from all these mini reactors. What you gonna do with it?
Launch into space.
Fair enough.
David, it was a joke. We don't have the technology here to do it.
I know that. I know. I appreciate
But
that.
no, we do have a couple of space launch sites now. If anybody can come up with a way of doing it, it'd be us.
Yeah, let me just enlighten you on that one. That's a really, really important one, right?
What one?
We're talking about our new space centre, right? Up in the Shetlands, I think it is. Or is it Orkney?
Aye, spaceport, aye. Launch site, aye, whatever.
Right. It's the same latitude as Moscow.
Aye, listen, so we need to move on to our first pillar of economic growth, and that is to be carbon capture. 22 billion quid on technology we know doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it's been proven time and time and time again.
Failed in Australia, it's failed in Denmark, failed in fucking America.
Yeah.
What happens is they pump it into the ground, it finds its way out.
Yeah.
And ecological disaster coming. Even if you could keep it in the ground for X amount of time, eventually something's going to shift. It's coming up, and it'll be a fucking ecological disaster.
Well, can I tell you where that came from, where the idea came from, right? I was on board a gas rig.
Make it quick, David.
And they negotiate the price of the gas. Eventually couldn't get the money they were looking for. Said, right, fine. They're not going to sell the gas. Took the gas they extracted back through the rig from the onshore collector, right? And they pumped it back into the rocks. And I said, what's the logic in that? He said, it's the logic of idiocy, because eventually the gas will escape.
Aye.
Right.
But not just that, David. 22 billion on something that doesn't work. But there are things out there that do work.
Yeah.
In order to reduce carbon emissions. And for a start, putting solar panels and insulating buildings, 22 billion quid will do a lot of that.
Yeah. And also putting up more windmills. Let's say. Let's have a few more of them.
Wind turbines definitely help. But as I say, if she was serious, one of the biggest energy users is the home.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Solar panels up in all the buildings, insulate all the buildings, cut the need for fossil fuel.
Did you know that there's a new project going ahead to actually dry run the effect of providing hydrogen to the home for use by boilers? Most modern boilers will run hydrogen gas, and we've got the ability in Scotland because the wind generators that we have of actually producing hydrogen at low cost, because it utilises the wind turbine during the night when it's not needed.
Stevie, I'll need to look into that. I don't know anything about carbon capture to produce synthetic aviation fuel.
Right. We'll have to look into that. Yes, definitely. Thanks, David.
Aye, definitely having to look into that. So, I mean, it's just pissing money up against the wall, David, but it takes us back to the first question you asked. Why are they deliberately fucking the economy?
Yeah, exactly. This is something that we've got to look into really, really, really. It's an opinion thing at the moment. Is why on earth would a politician in the UK or a group of politicians in the UK do something that they know? I mean, come on. They know it's going to kibosh
the thing it's not just one government.
Yes, I know that. I appreciate that. If you look at what Trump is doing at the moment, he definitely is trying to kibosh the American economy. Of course. Can you imagine that? Look, it doesn't matter whether it's Trump or whoever is actually the president. They have got advisors, same as we've got advisors for our government, right? And they'll be screaming into Trump's ear. Look, export doesn't work that way. Doesn't work like that, right? And okay, you can imagine Trump, doing his usual thing of being a narcissist. I know better than any of you, right? But to be honest with you, he is told by every one of his advisors, and also the people inside Capitol Hill.
But when
they'll be told as well.
When we have to look at it as deliberate sabotage, because the UK is the first country known to have imposed economic sanctions on itself outside countries that have been go to war.
Yeah, and
therefore, the US followed suit.
Yeah. Yes.
You've got to ask why.
The question's got to be asked. Of course it has.
It has. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time looking for the answer to that fucking question.
That's a hell of a question.
Economic madness to make trouble for the Labour Party. More Labour scandal. As Minister sacked and MP under investigation for vile chat and WhatsApp group. Health Minister sacked Andrew Gwynn for vile and apparently racist and sectarian comments, anti-Semitic apparently. And his buddy, a Burnley MP of Orion, who is under investigation for misogynistic and homophobic comments in the same WhatsApp group. Now, the reason why it's the left fights back is because these two right-wingers in the Labour Party were coming away with all this pish, while the left-wingers of the Labour Party were sitting in that fucking WhatsApp group, keeping their mouth shut, recording it all, and then giving it to the papers. That's why
is this the left wing fight back, is it? Possibly.
Aye, that is. So they better keep an eye out in the Labour Party and the right, because you never know who's in your WhatsApp group. But more importantly, this has now been passed to Greater Manchester Police, who are looking into it for hate crime.
Yeah. And it is a hate crime. I mean, I read some of what was said to that old dear that wrote them, right?
Yeah, wouldn't they said to you directly, it was said as a joke in a Facebook group. Group.
No, it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I actually named the old lady concerned, right?
I think you'll find that was the papers.
Yeah.
Once they'd got exactly the messages for the left winger in that group, they'd have done their homework.
Yeah.
So they'd have found out who that elderly constituent was that was worried about.
Right. Absolutely. To actually come back with that, let's hope you're deed by the time it gets to midterm. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
No half.
And yet again, can I say to you, Labour, oh my goodness me, where else did we hear that coming from somebody in Labour? Oh yes, it was that Gordon Brown. Gordon Brown had left his fucking radio microphone still attached, and he was the man going, who the hell was that?
Going up your woman a bigot.
Get her away from me.
Aye, get that bigoted woman away from me, aye. Right, let's move on. We were talking about fucking economic literacy. Trump continues with a international trade war, and it's the US citizens that are being hurt. You know? Now, commodity prices in America are shooting up through the roof. As everybody tried to explain to Trump this would happen. It's the importers in America that's paying this fucking tariff. And then, of course, it's not just his trade wars which is creating chaos in the US. As Gingers are probably able to attest to in the comments, it's also his immigration policy, where he's rounding up all these so-called illegals and deporting them. And the people who pick the crops in the fields are not showing up to work in case they get lifted.
Yeah.
So prices are rocketing.
If you look at how Trump is actually ramping up the situation against Mexico, is that he's renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Right? They fly. The Admiralty tell me fuck off.
Yeah. The most important thing is the reason why it's called the Gulf of Mexico is because the Tropic of Cancer, which is the northernmost point that the sun gets to, right, runs right the way through the middle of Mexico into the middle of the Gulf of Mexico, right?
I ain't about that. I just know that geographically it's been called the Gulf of Mexico for 400 years.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, but there is a scientific reason for it.
I'm not aware of that. But what I do know is the rules of the sea are governed by the Admiralty in London, and they've told me to fuck off.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, because don't forget, they're the ones that run UNCLOS 3. That's it. End of story.
Now, they decide what the seas are belong to each nation. They decide what fucking the seas are called. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
They tell Trump to go and buy all his fucking heat.
Yeah.
As of 10 o'clock this morning, Google has not yet changed the name on their map. Now, of course they're not. They'll be dealt naughty.
Yeah. If you look at Google, I mean, it was Google Earth I went on to actually get it, and you actually see it where it's named the Gulf of Mexico. Also below that, if you look at on my timeline, I've actually put up a post on it. You can see the Tropic of Cancer line goes right the way through Mexico, right into the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. So anyway,
right, and we're going to finish off on the BRICS, David. They're expanding rapidly. Indonesia has just become a full member, and Nigeria has just become a partner member, along with 23 other partner members, which are expected to become full members next year. Now, the interesting thing about Nigeria is it's the biggest economy in Africa. It's got 200 million in a population, and it's also another oil and gas producer. So the BRICS now have cornered most of the oil and gas producers, because Saudi Arabia is a partner member, Iran is a partner member, the United Arab Emirates are partner members, Venezuela is looking to become a partner member. And they're all oil producers. So
Venezuela has got the biggest reported oil holdings in the world.
Aye.
Massive. Absolutely massive.
That's only because you can't. The west coast of Scotland's a bit difficult to drill at the moment.
Yeah. The lollards are all over it.
So what we're seeing is we're seeing the world order as we know it break down. Trump, the BRICS are there to undermine the US dollar, and Trump's making it easy.
Yeah.
Aye, of course.
Ace Ninja says, I get that on this channel only. Well, there you go.
What's that?
I don't know what it refers to. Ice Ninja 46 says, I get that on this channel only. I need to look back.
Well, as I say, the thing about the BRICS is you know, the idea is they trade with each other in their own currencies. They
Yeah.
bypass the IMF, the World Bank, and bypass the dollar as the world currency, and that will undermine America. But they don't need to undermine America. Trump's doing it himself.
Yeah.
You know, Trump is undermining America, its economic stability. It's a bit like what's going on here in the UK.
Yeah.
It's a drive to third world status.
Yeah.
As these countries in the third world become economic powerhouses. Well,
if you think about it logically, right? What we have is we have effectively a trading bloc, as in the EU, right? Now, at some point, Scotland will become an independent nation. At some point, Scotland will rejoin the EU. Logically, that is correct, right? But when you look at BRICS and you look at the rise of BRICS, and if they have got the same intent, which is good trading relations, right, and good trading rules, it's possible at some point in the not too distant future, somebody could go chapping the door of the EU and say, why don't you guys come on board with this?
aye. Oh, you get the oh snap message, did you, Ace Ninja? Apparently, it gets intermissions in our broadcast, whereas internet drops off. Right, as I say, so the BRICS are really getting their shit in gear now. We're seeing a massive shift in world power, and we're seeing the US and the UK, who were once the biggest powers in the world, undermine themselves.
Yeah.
And you've got to say,
Well,
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, what I like about BRICS, apart there's a few things I like, but one main thing I like is when they trade with other BRICS countries, they actually effectively have their own export tax, which gives them an amount of gold that they can purchase with that tax.
Mr. E, I should be giving you 30 quid for this comment. Two Davies is the greatest channel on YouTube. Every penny goes to food banks and baby banks, entertainment, information, and the odd rant. Couldn't he ask for more? I should be giving you 30 quid for that one, Mr. E. You know the other way round.
Mr. E, I've got a nice wee bottle of whiskey here. You can come and take a few drabs of. Don't worry about that.
Now, you'll need to race me to your fucking door.
No, as I was saying about creating a gold-backed currency, that is, we need there to be a gold-backed currency.
No, David, what they're doing is it's not just gold. What they're doing is
it's basically any rare metals, materials, that sort of thing, right? And to be honest with you, that is something that is really, really important in this day and age. We've gone through seeing countries, huge countries, turn up with a four currency, like America. America one time would go back, like the UK. One time we'd go back. Gordon Brown sold off all our gold for £2.50, right? End of story. End of story. And for example, what's going to happen is when you get a gold-backed currency in the world, or you get a currency which is backed on something, then all non-gold or non-backed currencies become rubbish.
That's the other thing that's interesting in the scope, Brian. Canada is diversing its economy away from America. And everyone's telling us that Musk now has access to Fort Knox. He's going to be fucking disappointed we get there. There's nothing in it.
Is that the single bit of pig iron that's out on the table has been painted with some gold paint? Is that what it is?
And showed to the Germans when they asked to see their gold. Here you go, there.
That's right. Aye.
Anyway, folks, that's us. We're at the end here for the day. Thanks for watching the great numbers. I hope you found it entertaining. I hope you found it informative. Thanks very much for your donations. Thanks to the mods for moderating. And just leaves one thing left today, David.
Bye, Davey, and don't forget the words. Keep your politics in your back pocket.
Partisan politics in your pockets and your eyes to pride.
And time for independence, independence, independence.
Right, I'm away to schedule this programme, David. I've already scheduled the More Mornings programme. And then I'm going to march out to work, so I'll catch you later. And anybody that wants to come into the after show chat, I'll be in between 10 and 11. You'll get his own Mad Monks Discord server. Hugh, drop the link for the Discord server in the chat after the show, please. Thank you very much.
So, right, guys, bye. And do consider that information, do what we give out, which is why. The question, why are the UK committing economic suicide, and why is America under Trump
doing the same thing? So let's put our heads collectively together and see if we can come up with it.